I think it goes without saying the property sector has taken and continues to take an unprecedented number of hits. Most recently, the initial challenges stemming from kind of post-pandemic issues, then further tested by the war in Ukraine, and the after effects of that, so the subsequent cost of living crisis, increasing fuel costs, and for good measure, the consistent rise in interest rates in the UK, which is continuing even today. So I think it's important to understand that cash purchases and cash purchases, they've always been prevalent in our marketplace. If you add to this equation the falling house prices and fewer mortgage-ready buyers, cash transactions will increase significantly and inevitably. In fact, we have a webinar launching shortly where I'll be speaking to Emily Williams from Savills, and we'll be drilling down further into the current cash buyer trends. I have to really stress it's important to understand that searches play a critical role in a property transaction, and whatever the circumstances and type of purchase, a full range of searches as advised by a solicitor or a conveyancer is the single most best way to obtain all of the property information required to make that informed decision. And this is a critical part of the conveyancer's own diligence too, and that is very, very clearly defined. However, there are some cash purchases that are negotiated by buyer and seller using completion timescales as a condition of offer, which could potentially mean that realistic processing timescales of searches and subsequent inquiries can fall foul of these negotiated parameters. So even so, some form of alternative safeguard may be and should always be put into place. As stated before, a full suite of searches is the first and foremost ideal way of providing clients with all of that property intelligence required to transact safely. So for clarity, that would be a local authority search, a drainage and water search, and some form of environmental desktop report. However, when a lender is not present within the transaction, sometimes a suitable no-search insurance policy can be obtained to protect the buyer from any loss of property value or potential claims that might arise from not taking the usual route of gaining the search data associated with a normal transaction. Yes, there is actually. Our new Cash Buyer Express is a version of our already successful Express product. That is a combined solution that utilizes our own unique database to provide some really useful property search data, as would be found in a local authority search, such as planning information, local planning permissions, nearby road schemes, and railway schemes too. And this is really nicely wrapped up with a robust insurance policy that adds a great layer of cover for the buyer that protects them from any financial loss in the future.